Each month, the ISAG Association gathers 20 Geneva-based investment strategy specialists to share their views on economic and financial issues and the bearing of these issues on their investment strategies. They'll be joining us once a month to discuss their findings. In the studio today to introduce us to ISAG is ISAG member and Dukascopy TV regular John Plassard. John, thank you very much for coming into the studio.
Hello, Natalie.
Now, to start with, could you just tell us a little bit more about ISAG? What does it stand for? What does the association do?
As we can see here, it's the Investment Strategy Association of Geneva, and we have, like you said before, about 20 members representing the policy of their banks or financial establishments. So I'm going to tell you today about the March grid of forecast. That's what we call the consensus, and we are meeting each month to discuss about that.
So in this March consensus, which asset classes do you focus on particularly?
My view on the economy is that it's driven by what I call a macroeconomic triptych. In fact, it's three panels that represents a global picture of the economy. So on those three panels, we have the United States fighting against unemployment and trying to find some growth. On the second panel, China 2011 was the battle against inflation, and this year it's the battle for growth. And finally, we have the European side with the sovereign debt. So the ISAG is more focusing on two panels. It means the United States and Europe, including Switzerland. We are also focusing on 6 asset classes. It means commodities, forex, rates, govies, equity and credit. And there has been some changes in last March consensus.
Now, John, we've spoken a lot about asset allocation this week with Julia Awadala suggesting wine, real estate and life settlement. But what is ISAG's current asset allocation?
So regarding our allocation, it's quite interesting to notice the movement that we have done this last month on our portfolio balanced allocation. So in fact, on the equity side, we have a weighting of 35%. We are also using cash at 9%, govies at 11%, credit at 29% and commodities at 9%. And it's also important to notice that the biggest mover in that balanced portfolio in euro are on the positive side equities and commodities, and on the negative side cash, govies and credit. So we were quite following the movement of the market. As you know, beginning of March, we were quite following the movement of February, where all the indices were quite at the highest point. So it's interesting to notice that as we see now, with the indices going quite down since the end of February, of course the movement should go with less equities in the next consensus.
And finally, John, the all-important question, what are ISAG's current financial forecasts?
So if we take on the forex side, we have a view at, for example, the euro against dollar should reach 128 at March 2013. So if we look a little bit more on that number, we see that we should have a range between 125 and 135, because on one side we have the euro who's been pushed down by those sovereign debt, and on the other side, of course, United States trying to have or to lower the value of their dollar. Of course, they will have and they wish, of course, to materialize a higher export, and of course try to have for example, the sector of the tourism being high, so the industry should go further again. If we take another allocation, that will be maybe on the commodity side, our view on the barrel, for example, at March 2013 is 105. So we think that the barrel should stay higher than $100, of course driven by several reasons, going from higher demand, the problem that we have with Iran also, we have speculation, weaker dollar also driving the barrel quite high. Finally, we also have a bullish view on gold. We think this metal should reach $1,900 at March 2013. As you know, the gold is denominated in dollar, so of course weaker dollar is driven the gold quite higher, and as you know, the price of gold is always progressing when real rates are quite low, and that's the case now. So that are the three main points we are looking at.
John, thank you very much.
Thank you, Natalie.
John Plassard there on behalf of the ISAG Association, who will be joining us for another round of discussions in just a few weeks. In the studio next week, we'll be joined by representatives from AIM Hedge, Lloyds TSB Private Banking and many, many more. For now though, goodbye and have a great weekend.